Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream all my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so tonight we're just going to finish off Roman's PC here from the other night. We had one of these coolers here, but it was defective. We were getting a bit of a sort of a grinding sort of sound coming from the pump. Something inside the pump block there was out of line and was leading to that sound. So it was a bit of a high frequency kind of sound that you could hear there. So we just sent that one back for a warranty claim, and we've just got a new one here now to install. So much like the other one, it's exactly the same. I have actually already plugged it in to ensure that it is actually functional.
Makes sense.
Hey Nick, how you going? Good to have you here. And so yeah, I was just saying, we're just going to install this new AIO after we had that faulty one the other night. It was very loud. So relatively easy backplate installation here, which is good. This plastic bracket. And we need these pieces here. These look like the correct size bolts.
It's very round, the first one in.
What's that?
It's very round, the first one in, like Nick says.
Yeah. No, I mean, what was interesting about like the previous one that we went to install was it had like a bit of a tear in the box, and this one actually has the same thing going on. It's like the pallet might have got crushed and it sort of pushed out from inside.
Yeah, we were a bit worried the same thing was going to happen.
Yeah, so we're a bit worried about this one considering it was in like a similar condition, but I mean I wasn't convinced that the other one would have been fatally damaged from that little nick in the carton there, but obviously it was damaged a bit more than what I had anticipated. So yeah, sent it back. It's no question. I mean, it's making a high pitched whining sound. That's not normal. Some AIO pumps are louder than others, but not like that. I thought that was just a fan that was just stuffing up or something. I tried all the fans first, it sounded like a fan. And if it was, that would have been a much easier fix. Alrighty. Got our cooler, and that will be installed. Which way are we? Installed like this. Just like that now. Where'd that thermal paste come from?
Screwdriver maybe?
Possibly. Just make sure those feet are on there properly.
So it's more builds tonight, or is this just?
No. We got a 3070 with a Ryzen 5800X. So a mad PC coming up.
It's one of those iChill graphics cards.
Yeah, it's an iChill X4 3070. This one. You might actually have this listed. They had the X2 listed at a higher price than the X4. I think it was a pricing error. Whoever their pricing manager is, if they find that one out, they'll get a bit shitty. Umart's colour's green because it's the colour of the US dollar. That's what they love.
Jack says, how you going, Tim?
Hey Jack, how you going? And yeah, Jesse just commented. Jesse is the lucky person with the 3070 build coming up. So Jesse will be no doubt waiting with anxiety as to when the actual build will occur. But as you can see here, this is Roman's PC. So like I said, I do a little bit more cable management, usually off camera, just to make sure it's all looking nice. And as you can see, inside that case, it's a nice, very, very clean looking build. So I've run the graphics card cable actually behind the graphics card there, so it's completely out of the way and concealed at the back there. And around the back, it's nice and tidy. So not too many zip ties used, so it's not absolutely perfect, but it's tidy and it's functional. You can get to all the connections easily. You can easily add more and route extra cables in the same direction that these are routed. So that's what I call good cable management. It doesn't have to look like a work of art. It has to be functional, and you know, you can, like I said, you can make more work for yourself just by, you know, putting in too many different zip ties everywhere. You have to change something, and yeah. Fun.
Jesse says the 5800X 3070 build.
Yep, that's your one, man.
Says, yay. Ben wants to know, where do you purchase your products from? Do you only shop at Umart, or do you get products from online stores?
I get products from wherever's cheapest, pretty much. So, like, I'll get some stuff from Umart, some stuff from wholesalers. Basically, I check everywhere to get everyone the best deals that I can get them at the time. I don't make money on parts. I have no interest in making money on parts. I just get customers the cheapest parts I can get them in the market at the time, and yeah, I just charge for the labour and the service. Basically, I don't. It's too much stuffing around to like play the parts game as such. It's easier just to, you know, buy parts for a build and charge for the build. That's a much easier business model. You don't have to worry about prices, you don't have to worry about how much you're buying and whether you can sell what you bought and all these other factors. So, get some anti-static foam here, because we're going to be installing this. So I need to hold this absolutely. Just make sure I'm orientating this correctly. Yeah.
Dominic says, hey Tim. Nick says, hey Tim, I'm not sure if you know this, but the RGB software, are you able to download something and import it so it gives you different colour schemes, kind of colour settings Fusion gives me?
Yeah, that's the thing. You could try downloading other brands of RGB software, but it's usually pretty much tied to the motherboard. So yeah, that's one of the limitations there. You could, if you want the best RGB software and the best programmable lights, you really can't look past Corsair. So Corsair's kind of like the Apple of the PC world. So not necessarily ideal in some regards, but let's just get this. Double layer.
I was like, what the hell's going on there? Paul says, hey Tim.
Hey Paul, how you going? Can you hold that? That's fine. Serious. I bought these thin bits. There we go. Now it's doing what I want it to do. Always easier to install these while the motherboard's out of the case. Oh no, that's what I've done.
What?
It's too busy talking, and I put the arms that the cooler sits on. I put them on the wrong side of the plastic. So like they're on, but they're not in the right orientation. So the bolts don't fit down properly. It's good fun. So if you want to see what I did wrong, these arms, they should be on the top side of the plastic, not the bottom. So a simple mistake and a simple fix. Yeah.
It says I downloaded IQ, but it only allows me to change my audio. RTX 3060 Ti.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing with IQ and Corsair, is that yeah, you'll get that kind of shit with them. Unfortunately.
So it's, yeah, not too bad here. Jesse wants to know, what's your favourite Pokemon?
What's my favourite Pokemon? Oh shit. Jeez. Maybe give me a generation. Yeah.
Jackson says my is just a gaming laptop and can't charge. You know, while playing it, he said he needs a smart adapter.
He can't charge his laptop while he's playing. That seems a bit strange.
Nick says on the bright side, I've discovered colour settings on my graphics card I never knew were possible.
Ah, what have you been looking through NVIDIA control panel? I would be assuming.
Jesse says first gen.
First gen, I don't think you could go past Charizard, my very first favourite Pokemon from the first time I played Red and Blue. I think it's hard to go past the classics there. For a legendary, I'd probably pick I reckon I'd probably pick Articuno or Zapdos. One of them, and of course Mewtwo. Mew are bosses. Oh, let's get this arm on correctly. Yeah.
Jackson says it's a HP Omen.
HP Omen. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to have your laptop plugged in to power and plugged in and just on battery, and those two modes should work independently of each other. It shouldn't matter what software you're running or anything.
I was going to say, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Even our old laptop will...
Because that's when you need it plugged in the most. Because if it's not plugged in, then the CPU on a laptop is going to be running in mobile mode. So it won't likely run at full power if you're gaming. Yeah. But I mean, you bought a laptop for gaming, so there's that, like, I hate to say it, but there's your first mistake, right? You don't buy a laptop for gaming. No, all good. She's like, yes. Damn straight, it's all good, she says. I already have to fuck around with the computer.
You want Gatorade or something?
Not yet. Maybe later. Taken like twice as long to install this cooler as I would have liked to have.
Yes. Nick says we need someone to make a universal RGB profile that works with all companies.
Yep.
How about just all companies just come together and just make one thing and it works like everything? Like connections and software?
That would be
Why
nice.
can't they just do that? Make it easy for everyone.
But they want to lock you in. They want to lock you into their own ecosystem.
Yeah. No, I'm sucking his voice.
Yeah.
Tom wants to know how much did this would cost.
This one here was, I think it was $20.99. This is a very similar build to one of the specials that I had up on my page the other day. So this one's got a 3060 with a 9700F and i7. So this is a really good value 3060 build, or 3060 i7 build I should say. So this is an excellent value 3060 PC, like I said. Like I can't get you a processor that's as strong as this for the same price for in Ryzen or in Intel 10th Gen. But I can get really good prices on some of the i9, sorry, the 9th Gen I should say, Intel chips. So I can build identical systems to this build. So if you like it and the price is right for you, just send me a message and we can go from there. Okay. What's that? No, it's still early. It's got our cooler installed there, so we don't have much to do now. some cables to hook up. So what we're doing here is we're going to hook up the back fan and the cooler to the CPU fan and and pump fan header. So we're going to know exactly which is which. This one here's the pump fan header. Here's the CPU fan header.
It says, I feel like I got my build a bit time, so not heard anyone getting something similar to mine.
No, well, I mean, the thing with yours, Nick, like 3070s, they just keep going up in price. Like, so I've got an Inno 3D one that we're doing tonight, right? And then I've got an Aorus Master here. This card's $1,600 now. I only paid $1,500 for it, but that's how much it is right now at retailers. So it gives you an idea. And so all we've got to do now is just plug in these last cables. We don't have to do anything special with the cable management here. We can just plug these last two in. It's not going to make any difference at all.
Nick says 3060 Ti is still rising in price.
3060 Ti is unavailable, mate. Just can't get them.
We paid $905.
Yeah, you got a deal, man. You got a deal.
Yeah.
They're like
They're over a grand
3060 Ti's new price when they're available is going to be $1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, so expect $1,200 plus on a 3060 Ti. 3060 is cheaper. That's what we've got here. 3060 is going to be the new mid-range option. So like, if you're the average gamer, should get a 3060, essentially. That's the sweet spot. 3060, and I mean, you can get a Ryzen 5000, but I mean, there's plenty of other CPUs that won't bottleneck you as well with a 3060. So. All right. Okay. So let's just close it up quickly and let's get it into Windows. Let's make sure that cooler is installed correctly.
And not making stupid ass.
Yes.
It's not.
No, well, we've already
already
plugged it in to make sure it wasn't making a stupid sound.
Fred says, hey mate, what's doing?
Hey Fred, how you going? Yeah, we're just finishing up this build from not last night, the night before. So had a bad pump on the liquid cooler. It was making this like real bad sound. So I took it back to do a warranty claim on it, and we've got a new one here today. So we're just going to set that up quickly. Pretty sure everything's going to be sweet with this. So let's fire her up and see how she goes. Can you change the screen?
Well, it's not making any stupid sounds.
No. So as you can hear, not making any high-pitched whining sound. It just sounds like an ordinary AIO cooler, the pump. Yeah, just a second. Had to shut down the other computer, so I only get a feed from one screen now. There we go. Alright. So to activate Windows, I'll do that at the end of the stream. Right now, we just want to make sure that our cooler is installed correctly. So the first thing we can look at is our idle temperatures. And so if our cooler is installed correctly, we should be seeing idle temperatures get below 30 degrees. And as we can see there, the temperature's getting below 30 there. We're seeing some 29s, and I'm sure if I just left this, right now the CPU's doing a little bit of stuff. Windows just started up, so there's some background stuff going on. So it's actually doing a little bit of work. It's not completely idle. It's sort of coming down to a more idle state now. There's a utilization there. So like looking at that, I can say that I'm pretty sure that the cooler is mounted correctly, and I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing there. I'm prepared to go and open up Cinebench now. But there was one other thing we were doing last time before we signed off, and that was using Intel XTU to get the most performance out of our chip. So we can't overclock these chips because it's an F series, but what we did was we put all these limits up to maximum, so it's going to hold its boost for as long as possible. You know, it's got 128 seconds there, unlimited power consumption. It's as unlocked as we can make it, basically. And so we're just running those settings there, so we get some better performance. And so let's just fire up Cinebench here quickly.
Paul says here the prices are skyrocketing. I paid $13.99 yesterday for a tough gaming OC 3070.
Yep. Yeah, that's what that's a pretty good deal, because that's what I paid for, you know, 3D one the other day. So even though it's only got 8 cores, 8 threads, it's still making pretty light work of Cinebench here. It's not designed as a multi-threaded CPU. But as you can see there, the temperatures are sitting there in the 60s, so we're, you know, pushing 40 degrees under temp. So we're not going to have any issue here, and because we're not running a K-series CPU, we're not overclocking or any of that. This gives us a really healthy buffer. And so what we can do now that that's running is we can fire up another app here. And we will stress the GPU at the same time. As we can see here, we've got some statistics here on the screen thanks to Riva Tuner. So it's giving us our frames a second that's being rendered here in Firmark, and we can see our CPU and graphics card there in terms of their temperature. Now that they're sort of both firing there together, basically 100%. And this is basically what a stress test is. We just let this run for ages. So I already ran this with the graphics card, and it wasn't even getting to 70 degrees. In fact, it was sitting around 63 after an hour. So I'm not concerned at all about the graphics card. And if the CPU hasn't got to 80 degrees yet, then there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to push it much further than that. And we haven't bothered tuning the fans or anything like that.
It's really good airflow from
It is. This is why I like this case. It's got really good airflow for a budget budget case, and with those 3 ARGB fans at the front, pulse width modulation fans, not Molex crap. Okay, so we can... Actually, we'll go to customize. Where's our fans?
Tim, Nick says, so Tim, what RGB software is
So you got a gigabyte motherboard. I mean, you can try them. You can try them all. We're using Dragon Center here for MSI, but I don't think that's going to communicate with your lights. Honestly, I've never really tried doing that. I always just install the software for the particular motherboard. But do some research. See if someone hasn't already come up with an app like that. I'm not aware of it, but if it's out there, I'd definitely like to know about it. I'd definitely like to...
There's a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah, just Google it and see what comes up. All right. There's our CPU, 70 degrees. How's it going? Sort of just behind a Ryzen 7 1700X there. And that's 8 cores, 16 threads. By the way, this is just 8 cores. So, 8 cores, 8 threads, I should say. Not even getting close to 80 degrees there. And that's pretty much it for this PC. It's just time to enter the Windows license and pack it up. And so I pack up the PCs with anti-static foam. I pack the internals of the case so that the graphics card and everything is kept secure in shipping. So if anything's going to break in shipping usually, it'd be the glass side panel. So if that happens, it's like, oh, I'll just buy another case. Get another glass side panel. Sell the case without a side panel. Get some of your money back. It's usually the cheapest option. It's usually cheaper than insurance. So that's what I advise people, because I take care of the stuff inside the case. Even I take care of the stuff outside the case as well. But if someone kicks it or drops it, if there's something that's going to break, it'll be that tempered glass side panel there. That's the brittle part of it. Nothing else inside it will break. Nothing will come loose because of how I pack it. So yeah, no issues.
I like that strip on the side there. I think it's cool.
There's quite a decent amount of heat coming off the radiator, which is good. Indicates to me that the pump is working good and that the CPU is making good, sorry, the cooler's making good contact with the CPU.
You guys can't hear any, high-pitched whining sounds coming from it.
Oh, what did I What did I do? I made the donut. I made the donut go away, and now we're getting nearly 2,000 frames a second.
I didn't even know you could make that.
Yeah, you can.
Oh well.
I turned it off apparently. Well, yeah, I'm pretty confident with this based on the other tests I did the other night. So I think we're probably going to leave it here for now.
We need to get set up.
We need to get set up for the next one. So I'll catch you later. We'll be building a Ryzen 5800X, which is one of the best gaming CPUs in the world, and we're pairing it with an RTX 3070. So this is a run any game you want in the world on max settings, no fucking problems. It's going to be an excellent PC, so stick around. That will be going live in about half an hour or so. So I'll catch you all then. Have a good one.